blank stare.
Today, they're all for Brandon.
Yeah, they like what's going on.
They love
You guys doing any more travel videos? Or you just doing Trump stuff now?
Now the election, we're doing hanging out. We are traveling, Lake Eola, Florida. We're hanging out with Jeff.
Hanging out with me. Doesn't get any better than that.
We're traveling with Jeff.
He's an old guy, has dementia, can't lead us, and the country is screwed. Tells some big lies, barely speaks English, sniffs children, and their mom's hair too goes the wrong way. When he leaves his speeches, gets lost each day in the White House yard. All the Dems say that we should re-elect him. How can he run when walking is hard? And you'll keep falling, yeah, he keeps falling, keep falling, yeah, he keeps falling, and you'll keep falling, yeah, he keeps falling, keeps falling, yeah, he keeps falling.
Good morning, folks. DJ Wonder Chrissy here with you with some more. You know what we do here. We have breaking news. Yeah. Breaking news. Yep, that's what we got here for you today. It is Sunday, April 7th, and I am DJ Wonder Chrissy. This is Migrant Mayhem, and I was talking yesterday about how the city of Chicago, state of Illinois lies to people, right? How they lie. Ring the bell on that one. So people were asking for some receipts that proof that I was not lying to you. So here's a video, just came out about a day ago. News Nation, pretty good, reputable source of news for you folks that watch too much of that mainstream crap. But anyway, he talks about how measles and now TB, but he talks about measles been happening in the police stations since August of last year, and it was covered up by Brandon, our buddy Brandon in Chicago. So go figure. So let's listen in on him, what he says about how we've been being lied to for a while now.
Lopez is joining us live to continue this conversation. Alderman, thanks so much for making the time.
Thank you, Natasha.
I wanted to follow up on something you told me. You are raising the alarm. You are concerned that Chicago police officers are contracting measles. Can you tell us any specifics about this, and what is the worry for you here?
No, we had seen early on that we had 2,000 migrant asylum seekers living in our police stations that some of the infectious diseases that they had were actually being shared with our police officers. So we know that our officers were coming in contact and developing measles and mumps and some other things. And as we're moving forward with what we're going through now, my concern is that, our first responders are going to deal with tuberculosis next, measles continuing to be an issue, as we continue to see 39,000 individuals now in our city who have not been vaccinated.
So if you live in the city of Chicago and you take public transportation, or you live close to any of these 23, soon to be 24, they just announced that they're opening up a Catholic grade school that was closed, and I think it's on the northwest side. But anyway, if you live close to one of these shelters, or you take public transportation, or you're walking around by these illegals, Biden buddies, border buddies, newcomers, whatever you want to call these people, you are opening yourself up to measles, mumps, and TB. according to our friend here, Alderman Raymond Lopez.
Vaccinated who are not being held to the American standard and who are.
Gee, think about that. Different standards for different people seems to be a common theme that we're seeing around the nation, folks. Different standards for different people. It depends on who you are.
Not only living in substandard situations as you saw yourself, but also putting our children in harm's way as well in the public school system.
And I want to talk about the schooling issue in just a moment, but just to follow up there, so you say that there were cases of both measles and mumps contracted by police officers here in
Yes.
Chicago.
And we have been aware of that fact since August of last year. And
I'm a little bit upset that Raymond Lopez, who seems to be a straight shooter, didn't come out last August or September and mention that to anybody, any news outlets. He was part of the cover-up, folks.
And every time we tried to approach this subject, the police department, health department, the mayor's office, nobody wanted to talk about it. Everyone said that we were just trying to cause panic in our city, that there was no transmission of measles or mumps or even tuberculosis. And we've seen that now clearly that is not the case.
Behind the scenes, can you tell us, have police officers approached you, have residents approached you who are privately concerned about the spread?
Every week I get calls and messages from officers who cannot come out publicly but are sharing the stories.
So he's also going to talk, sounds like he's been in the shelter at Halstead, and he's going to talk about what he saw at a very high level. So I don't feel sorry for these migrants. They came here knowing that, hey, you're not gonna get everything carte blanche. You get what you get, folks. When it's free, you get what you get. And I'm talking from a point of perspective. I used to eat government cheese in the 70s and the 80s. And I feel sorry for anybody that has to eat some of that government cheese. Although now they probably just give you SNAP benefits. You buy your own. But anyway, some of the stuff our government gives out is not necessarily what you want.
That they're dealing with in these shelters, sharing what they saw in the hospitals and in the ambulances, and seeing and telling me in a very general sense that all of what we talk about, all of what we fear is here, is happening, and is not being addressed by this administration.
And roughly how many officers do you know have been affected, have contracted measles or mumps?
You know, it's too hard for us to be able to quantify that when you have a public health department that refuses to acknowledge that fact even exists. But I know that it's...
Listen to that. We have a public health department who is neglecting their job. And if you guys have been watching this channel for any length of time, you know I've been calling for some of these people in the health departments to step down, to be fired. But that's never going to happen. So let's listen to that again.
Have contracted measles or mumps?
You know, it's too hard for us to be able to quantify that when you have a public health department that refuses to acknowledge that fact even exists. But I know that it's a huge concern for our police and our fire as well as our teachers to have that kind of infectious disease in their midst without any kind of recourse by the city to deal with it.
At the very least, I know you told me about a handful of confirmed cases. Is that true?
Oh, there's more. There are dozens, if not, hundreds more, because we have...
He comes clean. The media is telling us there's just a few cases. We know that's not the truth. And he basically said it here. Listen to him as he comes clean, saying it's a hell of a lot more than you think.
Is that true?
Oh, there's more. There are dozens, if not, hundreds more.
There you go.
We have 12,000 officers who were dealing with the migrants working in their police stations. So we can only imagine how bad it was spread.
So, Alderman, I was at the shelter on Halstead. The warehouse is housing 2,500 people. You told me that you feel the migrants are being treated worse than animals. Can you tell me about the conditions inside of these converted warehouses, these shelters that are giving rise to measles?
Here's where he tells you the real truth, folks. And I'm not surprised.
Outbreaks and now cases of tuberculosis.
Well, that shelter that you visited has had nearly half a dozen tuberculosis cases in the last month, has had nearly 60 measles cases in the last 3 months, and was where a young child, a 5-year-old, lost his life in December because of sepsis and preventable diseases. Inside of that shelter, which was basically an abandoned warehouse, we have heard reports of rat feces being all over, raw sewage being exposed, and dense living conditions for individuals who have no other.
Sounds like a third world country to me. How about you guys? Huh? Comment down below if you'd like to spend a weekend there. We can get you in there for a couple $100, just like an Airbnb, I think.
Sanitary conditions, but whatever we provide them. Clearly, we're failing because, in the aftermath of that young boy's death.
Let me just say that the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois, if you grade them on anything, it's usually a failing grade. Usually a failing grade. We need more of the media to shine a spotlight on this, folks.
Did nothing to help adjudicate any of those concerns that were being raised. Rather, the local representative didn't even address those issues. It took another member of the city council who was contacted to raise the alarm to the administration to get them to act. And when you are housing people in these kind of conditions, if these were animals, we would have closed this down, we would have cited the owners, and we would have rescued everybody inside. We had a situation.
Let me play that again. As an animal lover, I know this is true. But let's listen to it again and think about what he's saying.
When you are housing people in these kind of conditions, if these were animals, we would have closed this down, we would have cited the owners, and we would have rescued everybody inside. We had a situation just on the south side of Chicago where 40 cats were immediately removed from a house because it was too filthy, with the same conditions. But we put more emphasis on saving the 40 cats than we are on trying to save the migrant asylum seekers whom we claim to care about.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. Go to news.
So there you have it, the receipts. And I'm not lying. Comment down below what you guys think of this. This is just commonplace. It really is. It's commonplace here in Chicago, state of Illinois. They're flying by their seat of their pants all the time. So this is Migrant Mayhem. I am DJ Wonder Chrissy. We're bringing you guys updates about the migrants, and not much in the news except for this. I imagine they got the shelters locked down now with TB and measles. They probably don't want them out of the shelter unless they really, really, really have to. And I can only imagine it's got to be like a third world country inside some of these shelters. And of course, they don't let anybody in, and there's nobody talking who's going in. So makes you wonder, right? Makes you wonder. And we're so transparent. Brandon Johnson is so transparent. You heard about that here today. So we're bringing you guys the truth. I'm going to end this early for today. Like, share, and subscribe. It does help with the algorithm, help our growing channel as we try to get this information out to the masses. There's more migrants coming, folks. As the weather gets better and as we approach the DNC, expect the buses to be rolling once again from Texas. Just saying. I got a feeling that old Governor Abbott going to be sending some up in July, towards the end of July, for everyone to enjoy the summer festivals in Chicago, right? Hope you guys are enjoying TB and Measles fiesta this weekend. Over and out, DJ Wonder Chrissy.